I don't get to use the gavel very much because people don't normally come to our meetings, but good evening and welcome to the Mayor and Council meeting of June 16th, 2026 for the Borough of Fair Lawn. Will the municipal clerk please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act?
In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, adequate notice of this meeting given the time, date, and information for accessing this public meeting was advertised in the Record and the Herald newspapers on March 18th, 2026, was posted on the bulletin board located on the first floor of the municipal building, was filed in the office of the municipal clerk, and was posted on the borough's website at www.fairlawn.org/legal.
Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Here.
Councilmember Salinas.
Here.
Councilmember Kraus.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz. Here. Mayor Catrone.
Here.
And Mayor also in attendance is Borough Manager Peluso, Borough Attorney Verone, and Municipal Clerk Megarelli.
Will everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very enthusiastic. All right, we're going to start with proclamations and awards, so if everybody will join me in the well. Thank you. Okay, so this evening we're honoring two groups of people. We have our junior wrestlers and I think actually more than just junior wrestlers, right? No, just okay. Our junior wrestlers and the cast and crew of the high school's production of Chicago. So we are going to get started with our wrestlers first, and I am going to turn over the microphone to Councilmember Kraus.
All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. So we are going to recognize our K-8 wrestlers right now. I've got a proclamation I'm going to read. Just very quickly, everyone knows I'm very involved with the wrestling program in town, and very proud of the wrestlers. I just want to say personally before I read this off, there was 130 K-8 wrestlers this year. 30 kids qualified for the state tournament, 13 medalists. Those were all records for the program, all three of those numbers. We have a ton of great coaches, and it's been a wonderful community, not just because of the kids or the coaches, but because people keep coming back and it keeps growing, and you see it get bigger and bigger every year, and you see a community really being built year after year after year. And that's one of the most proudest accomplishments I've had being in town, is seeing that program grow. So I'm going to read the proclamation. I'm going to call up all my fellow coaches who are here, and then we're going to call up all the kids. Whereas the Borough of Fair Lawn is proud to recognize the dedication, perseverance, and sportsmanship demonstrated by the members of the Fair Lawn Junior Wrestling Program. And whereas wrestling teaches valuable life lessons, including discipline, determination, hard work, respect, teamwork, and resilience, helping young athletes develop both on and off the mat. And whereas the Fair Lawn Junior Wrestlers have devoted countless hours to training and preparation. And whereas these talented athletes have earned the opportunity to compete in wrestling tournaments throughout the season, showcasing their skills and commitment while competing against some of the finest youth wrestlers in the region. And whereas the Fair Lawn Junior Wrestlers achieved notable success by placing in wrestling tournaments and demonstrating outstanding effort, skill, and sportsmanship. Whereas the accomplishments of the Fair Lawn Junior Wrestlers reflect the strength of our community, the support of dedicated coaches and volunteers, and the encouragement of parents and families who contribute to the success of the program. And whereas the Borough of Fair Lawn applauds these young athletes for their hard work, determination, and exemplary representation of our community. Now, therefore, the Borough Council and Mayor Christina Catrone do hereby recognize and congratulate the Fair Lawn Junior Wrestlers for a great season and wish them continued success in future competitions. And I'm going to start calling them up one by one, but first, before I do that, can I get all of my coaches who are here tonight? No, not you. Coaches, calling up real quick, and we'll start handing out these proclamations. All right. All right, so our first proclamation goes to two-time state champion, Tri-County and Twin County League champions, and this young athlete actually represented Fair Lawn at a national level this year, taking 5th place at Tulsa Nationals, probably the first person from Fair Lawn to ever place in that tournament, 4th in the National High School Coaches Association tournament, Noah Kalibek. All right, our next wrestler earned her 5th state championship this year, and took home her 2nd, I believe, Worth the Shorts championship at the end of the season, and took 7th place in the Tri-County tournament, Veronica Adarina. Congrats on graduating. All right, next, earning her 3rd state championship this season and taking 3rd in Maryland at Mawa Eastern Nationals, Eliana Service. Next, our last state champion, earning her 1st state championship, Jocelyn Bishop. All right, next, earning 3rd in the state and 1st in the Tri-County tournament, Ari Ramadani. Good job, Ari. Next, 3rd in the state and 4th at Mawa Eastern Nationals, Ever Cherrier. Next, 4th in the state and 1st in the Twin County tournament, Alex Kanapka. Good job, Alex. 5th in the state, 1st in the Twin County tournament, 2nd in the Tri-County tournament, and 1st at Mawa Eastern Nationals, Lucas Kraus. And 6th in the state, Molly Guy. Sixth in the state, Gabriella Corey. Seventh in the state, AJ Horta. Good job, AJ. 8th in the state, John Guy. Eighth in the state, Giovanna Sinatra. All right, and second in the Tri-County tournament, Benjamin Service. And sixth at Eastern Nationals. Second in the Tri-County tournament, Dylan Gefter. Fourth at the Tri-County tournament, Anthony Scrow. I don't think Rocco's here, but fourth in Tri-County, Rocco Barone. All right, fifth in Tri-County, first in Twin County, Andrew Koenig. Fifth in Tri-County, Rome Cherrier. Good job, Rome. All right. And I have fifth in Tri-County, Matthew Pelicano. Sixth in Tri-County, third in Twin County, Lucas Buckley. Seventh in Tri-County, third in Twin County, Nate Pires. right. Second in Twin County, Samuel Herbert. Great job, buddy. Third in Twin County, Noah Herbert. And third in Twin County, Sebastian Santana. Good job, Sebastian. All right, photo.
Yeah. Yes. Can you guys all come up here in the front?
And this shorter wrestlers in front.
Yes.
You guys can figure that out.
And just so you all know, Chris was reading the proclamation and the names. It does not say the awards that these wrestlers won. He knew all of that from the top of his head. All right, you guys gotta come back up a little bit, guys. Back up, and squish in. Back up a little bit. Come back up a little bit. Keep moving back, guys. Yeah. Okay, we're good? Okay. You got the
You're gonna send it to everybody,
I
right?
will send it to everyone. All right,
All right,
ready?
smile.
Everyone looks great. Say wrestling. Wait, hold on. I'm missing something. Wait.
I got it better.
There you go. Here we go.
Yes. And then you guys gotta wait for the official one too. Okay.
Just keep it like here. There you go.
Now you know how we feel. All right. All right, ready? Everyone looks happy. Smile. All right, stay here. Stay. One more.
Hold on.
This is the official one.
Down. Push that way.
Who's that kid?
All right.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right. I like that. Thank you.
He's over, but this is curious.
What? Oh, is that on here? To award women? Yeah, okay. All right. We're going to do our next proclamation, so if you want to, all right, exit quietly. You could stick around and see the others getting awards, no? All right. What? No. No meeting, that's so. Okay. All right, our second and last proclamation of the night. Whereas the cast, crew, musicians, directors, choreographers, and production staff of Fairlawn High School's production of Chicago Teen Edition demonstrated extraordinary talent, dedication, creativity, and professionalism. And whereas through countless hours of rehearsals, these students and staff created an outstanding theatrical production that entertained audiences and showcased the exceptional performing arts program at Fairlawn High School. And whereas the Bergen Performing Arts Center Awards recognized the production with a nomination for Outstanding Overall Musical, as well as nominations for Best Choreography, Jamie Frola, Best Supporting Actor, Desi Shapiro, and Best Hair and Makeup, Olivia Miriam and Gabriella Serhat. And whereas the Metropolitan Theater Awards recognize the production with nominations for Outstanding Male Identifying Vocal Performances, Pedro Genoa, Outstanding female identifying vocal performance, Michal Semery Gertler. Outstanding achievement in costume design, Elena Nitel. Outstanding performance of a duet, Mariella Galdieri and Michal Semery Gertler for Nowadays. And further honored the production with 2 award winners, Outstanding Performance in a Lead Female Identifying Role for Mariella Galdieri, and Outstanding Achievement in Hair and Makeup for Olivia Miriam and Gabriella Serhat. And whereas these accomplishments reflect the dedication, teamwork, creativity, and excellence of the students, educators, and families who support the performing arts and serve as an inspiration to the entire Fair Lawn community. Now, therefore, the Borough Council and I, Christina Catrone, Mayor of the Borough of Fair Lawn, do hereby congratulate the cast, crew, musicians, directors, choreographers, and production staff of the Fair Lawn High School production of Chicago Teen Edition on their outstanding achievements and commend them for bringing pride and distinction to Fair Lawn through their remarkable accomplishments in the performing arts. Congratulations. So if I could have all of our nominees and our winners and really everybody who's here who was involved in the production come on up. And we have proclamations for you. Do the grown-ups want to say anything? I mean, you guys are grown-ups too, but you know.
I just want to say how proud I am of all the students here and the students who could not make it as well, both in the cast and our production team, Pit Orchestra, etc. This year we had a lot of fun. We worked really, really, really hard, long rehearsal hours, countless sleepless nights, I think, for many of these students who balanced all of that hard work with their academics. And we are just really proud and honored, and thank you so much for supporting the arts. Yeah.
And we owe you some more proclamations. I didn't have enough. Okay. All right, let's take a picture. Oh man, this is where I get to feel really smart. I think we got to stand up here. Yeah.
Now everybody hit a 90-degree lunge. That's right.
All right, the official one now.
This is the. This is the best blocking I've ever seen. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much. This is
We also will not be offended if you have to go home as well, so it's okay. You're welcome to stay, but.
not
So welcome. Yes. Oh, you're so welcome.
It does? Awesome. Bye. See you. Thank you.
Bye, Danny.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I get to before graduation. Well, I'll just send it to Mary.
Wait, yeah, what's her name?
Oh,
Those are, so you gotta go take them from the cast they were for the people who got nominated and won. Yeah, just go take them from them.
Where? Oh, nice. That's awesome. Yes, they should go take one of those proclamations. Yeah. Oh, no, not yet. I'm sorry. Council comments. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay. We're going to move into our council comments. Poor Councilmember Baldowski. He always follows the noise.
The noise and the emptiness.
We'll give it another second.
Get the echo now.
As they go down the hall.
Okay. Good evening, Councilmember Baldowski.
Good evening, Mayor.
All right. The borough manager is going to help us out.
That's all right. Well, I want to recognize everybody that was here tonight that is now enjoying their night at home. But no, I think it's so great when we get to see our youngest residents and be able to recognize those. I truly appreciate those opportunities. In Fair Lawn, we know our students, our youngest residents are great. And it's great to see that the state's recognizing that, the county, and that they're winning these awards outside of Fair Lawn, because we can always say how great they are, but other people are recognizing how great our residents are. And so that's incredible, and I thank everybody that came out tonight for that. It's been a quick month, I feel like, since we've been at the dais last. And as I was reflecting on what's happened, I recognized that Memorial Day actually happened after our most recent meeting, which was seems long ago now, but I want to recognize those that helped organize the parade, all the residents that came out despite the weather. It cleared up. We had a great parade and a great opportunity to recognize those that have fought for our country with our new Veteran Circle Memorial, or Veteran Memorial at the Circle. So always great to be out in the community there. We had the street fair, the chamber that had ran that. I guess that was last weekend now, or 2 weekends ago. Again, despite the weather, a quick thunderstorm or hailstorm or whatever came down quick. But plenty of people out there. Great to see the residents and people walking around, supporting local businesses, small businesses. We had Pride this past weekend at Memorial Park. That was another opportunity just to see our community come out in full force to support the diversity of our community. And so I had a great opportunity there to see so many local vendors and organizations to support our residents. Looking ahead this month, the Green Team has their ice cream social, their annual ice cream social, where you can get to meet some Green Team members, learn more about their organization. At Berdan Grove on June 28th, between 1 and 2, they recommend signing up just so that they know how much ice cream to get. It will be first come, first serve. And then just looking forward to the fireworks later this month to celebrate our 250th anniversary. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, Councilmember Salinas.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First, congratulations to the Fair Lawn Wrestling team on another outstanding season, and a special congratulations to Councilmember Kraus for his dedication and years of commitment to the program. It's hard to hear the words Fair Lawn Wrestling without hearing Chris's name, which speaks volumes about his impact on so many young athletes. Congrats as well to the cast and crew of Chicago for a fantastic production. As a parent of young children who have recently discovered their love for theater, I've seen firsthand how valuable the performing arts can be. It helps young people build confidence, strengthen public speaking skills, appreciate diverse perspectives, and develop compassion for others. I'd like to take a moment and thank Jane Spindell and the Garden Committee for their continued efforts in organizing volunteers and helping keep our community beautiful through their volunteer cleanup efforts. Over the past few weeks, we've had several wonderful community events, some which I was able to attend. Juneteenth, unfortunately I was sick, but which was organized by Keisha Austin. The annual Pride event, organized by Leo Sikowski, Beth Hurley, and Sylvia Kraus, the Radburn Fair, and I had the honor of attending an Eagle Scout ceremony for Noah Soka. So thank you to all the organizers, volunteers, the staff who make all of these events possible that strengthen our community. Congrats to all this year's graduates and their families. This is an exciting milestone, and I wish you each success on your next chapter, and luck with this transition and a memorable summer ahead. And last but not least, congratulations to all of the lifelong Knicks fans.
Thank you. Good evening, Councilmember Kraus.
Good evening, Mayor. I'm going to be brief since I took up a lot of our time already. But of course, echoing congratulations to our wrestlers and as well as to the cast of Chicago. It's, year after year, our music program, whether it be through the theater program or, to the other music programs that we have in town, they do fantastic. They're recognized. And it's no surprise to me that the production of Chicago was no exception to that. I know a lot of the individuals who've been involved in that program, and I've seen them across the years. And it's fantastic that we have such a strong theater and arts program in Fair Lawn. And that's something that I hope continues to grow through the years when Councilwoman Salinas' daughters will be in high school and performing as well, hopefully one day. Yeah, it's truly great to see, and I thank them for coming out tonight so that we can recognize them as well. Couple things that I just wanted to point out that are coming up. So, of course, this Sunday is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day. Happy earliest Father's Day to all the fathers out there. It is also Make Music Day in Fair Lawn. If anyone is looking for something to do throughout the day, there's going to be live music all over Fair Lawn from the morning time into the evening. If you go to makemusicday.org/Fairlawn, you'll get a map, and that map will display all the different locations that the artists will be performing at and tell you the times, the schedule for each location. So there's plenty to choose from, plenty of different genres. Lots of talented local artists will be performing that day. And I know that I look forward to spending at least part of my Father's Day supporting our local musicians. It is one of my favorite events, and it's a relatively new event in town, but it's just a great day. And just walking out throughout town and getting to experience live music really livens up a lot of the atmosphere around town. So please keep that in mind, and please check out makemusicday.org/Fairlawn. I do want to highlight and just mention that I'm looking forward to the official opening of the Memorial Pool on June 24th. It's another great feature of our town, and I'm sure we're going to have another very successful pool season, so looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing many of you at the pool this year. And we did have a number of great events throughout this past month, so just very quickly I want to congratulate everyone on those events. They're all part of what makes Fair Lawn great. And looking forward to the fireworks as well. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Good evening, Mayor. I'm going to try not to repeat much. I do also want to thank and congratulate all the wrestlers. I was with a bunch of them earlier today for fourth grade graduation, so it's good to see. Unlike me, they're still awake and enthusiastic at this hour, which is good. And also to the cast of Chicago. I know I went and saw the production. I know the mayor did, and I think most of us up here actually did. And it was really what they're able to do with the changes that they make for the musical and to get it into the time frame that they do and make it such a just elite level production. And I think it's shown by how many of our graduates end up, on Broadway and other places. So congratulations to Ms. Duenas, Ms. Frola, and Ms. Bowden, and everybody else involved, all the kids involved. I also wanted to thank Fairlawn Police and the Rec Department. We've now had 3 weeks of summer basketball. I've been down there every week for my daughter, and there have been absolutely no issues at the court. Last night was perfect weather-wise. I know the police were down there, make sure everybody felt safe. The only bad thing was we got destroyed in the game, but, you know, coaches, you know, bad coaching happens. So, but, you know, I think the fact that the rec department, the borough manager and the police came up with plans to ensure that everyone felt safe and comfortable at what really is a premier recreation facility in the town, I think speaks volumes to the collaborative nature of our government, and I'm really thankful to those groups for taking care of that. Other than the events that were mentioned, I want to highlight that one of our first responders, Burlando Drake, a firefighter, is currently suffering from a really aggressive cancer. Company 3 had a fundraiser for her last Friday night. They're still accepting donations. If you check out Company 3, they will happily help and take that. Burlando is someone who has given a lot to this community, so if you can help her out in any way, you know, I'm sure she would appreciate it. And lastly, as part of Rev 250, the celebration on July 1st, our first summer movie night at the pool will be a sing-along to Hamilton. So that it's July 1st at the pool. I believe it starts at 8 or 8:30 once it starts getting dark. And then this Saturday also is the first summer concert of the summer concert series. Usually there's Sunday nights, I guess this week because of Father's Day and other things. They moved it to Saturday night, so it's a big band show Saturday night. It's a good preview for Make Music Day on Sunday. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I am also going to try not to be redundant, but I do still want to offer my own thank yous and congratulations this evening. So again, congratulations to our wrestlers and to the cast and crew of Chicago, both two wonderful groups of students that, as we said in the proclamation, really make all of us and make the entire community of Fairlawn very proud. I want to thank our Veterans Affairs Council, our clerk, our borough manager, our Parks and Rec Department, DPW, emergency service personnel, and volunteers, and all of those who participated in the parade to help us have a very successful Memorial Day parade. As it was pointed out, we thought that the weather was not going to hold off, but it seemed to stop raining right when we began. And it really was a wonderful parade and a great way to unveil our new Veterans Memorial Circle. Remember that we've done this circle in 3 phases, so we're not quite done yet. The last phase will finish with the next budget cycle, but that will be all of the landscaping and greenery that will be added. We were able to do some thanks to some donations, but we will be doing more to really make it a meaningful place to come and honor our veterans. I also want to thank our clerk, our deputy clerk, and all of our poll workers for a very successful and what we like to see uneventful election day, where people came out, exercised their right to vote, and no issues. So thank you, especially to the poll workers who work very long hours, go through pretty extensive training, and without them, we would not be able to have such successful elections. So thank you to all of them. I want to thank the League of Women Voters, who were kind enough to invite me to be their guest speaker this month. I was able to share some important updates and information about the borough, but I was grateful that they, in turn, asked how they could help. I explained that the best thing that really anybody can do to help us, besides, of course, volunteer on our boards and committees and any way that they'd like to volunteer for the borough, but is also just to help us with communication, help us get information out. You know, we all up here are in the know, and we're trying our best to get as much information to residents through all different ways, social media, Fairlawn TV, our email blasts that go out every Friday, Nixle alerts via phone when there's emergencies, but there's still a lot of residents that are missing information. So I told them if they could use their organization, and I'll say it here for those people watching at home, if you know of ways to get information to your neighbors, your friends in town that aren't getting information, please reach out. We're open to any and all suggestions. I want to thank the Nepalese community who invited us to attend Nepal Day. I was joined by Deputy Mayor Reinitz, and it is the second annual event, another very, very successful event, and they really just treated both of us with such kindness and inclusivity. It really was a very special celebration to honor all of the members of our Nepalese community here in Fair Lawn and in the greater area. So I thank them for including us in their celebration and of course sharing their food, because that's my favorite part of all celebrations. I want to thank the developers of the new Plaza Green building, where the old Dollar Tree property. They had organized a groundbreaking ceremony, and I thank them for including me in that. We were lucky enough to have the governor there as well, and I'm just really excited about what kind of transformation we're going to see in that area. It's going to be a beautiful new building with age-restricted housing, a new Sprouts grocery store, which is the first in northern New Jersey. And there's another retail space that I've heard some rumblings is going to be another great business. Nothing is for certain yet, but I'm excited. And I think most importantly, what this development is going to do is it's another example to prospective businesses that Fair Lawn is a town worth investing in. Fair Lawn is a place where you want to come and open your small business or open some kind of unique business because you'll be successful here. We have a population of people that are dedicated to giving back to their communities, to shopping local, and I think a development like this is really going to continue to show the business world that we're the place to be. So I'm excited for that. And I got to keep my hard hat, which I'm also excited about. And then I want to again, thank the Community Relations Advisory Committee for two fantastic events this month, Juneteenth and the Pride Block Party, both, again, ways for us to celebrate our diversity and what makes Fair Lawn so special. They really are just such fun events where we can learn about each other, also able to watch some pretty incredible performances, again, eat some delicious food, and even though it was quite the scorcher at the Pride Block Party, it was really, both events were really well attended, and I'm excited to see them continue into next year. And then of course, the long-anticipated grand opening and ribbon cutting of Zadie's Bakery. I think that happened in between our meetings as well. That was one of the most well-attended ribbon cuttings that I've had the honor of doing as the mayor. And so we're excited that Zadie's is back open and back here in Fair Lawn where they belong. Okay. That's all I have for tonight. So next up is our Main Street Minute, and Liz is here to do that for us this evening.
Hi, good
Hello.
evening. Thank you, Mayor. As an update on World Cup programming, Fair Lawn Main Street is preparing to launch our Score Local Fair Lawn World Cup campaign this week. The campaign includes 40 participating businesses hosting World Cup-themed promotions, watch parties, and special community events throughout the tournament. To encourage residents and visitors to explore these locations, we have purchased 100 gift cards from local businesses valued anywhere between $25 and $100, which will be awarded through a social media campaign. Winners will be selected during the World Cup final celebration on July 19th. We have also produced limited edition Fair Lawn World Cup scarves, which are being distributed through participating businesses and community events while supplies last. In addition, we are partnering with the Fair Lawn Arts Council on a Summer Street Musician series running Wednesday evenings from June 24th through September 16th, and with the Fair Lawn Latin Heritage Committee on a World Cup final celebration happening at the Craftsman on July 19th. Additional details and participating businesses will be announced on Fairlawn Main Street's social media channels later this week, probably Thursday night. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You really kept it to a minute. Good work. Well, Nick already responded saying that Liz is our favorite so far of the so. All right, number 8, public hearing on the 2026 River Road and Fairlawn Avenue Special Improvement District budget. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this budget only?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on this budget only.
Good evening, Pamela Coles. Can you tell me what the budget is exactly?
It's a very lengthy budget. It's the budget for the entire River Road and Fairlawn Avenue SID. So
It's both combined, or is it
that's
just
one,
a-
yep, and then we'll be doing the next one. Oh, no, we did Broadway. Did we do?
No,
No, it's on
that's
here right
next.
here. We'll
Yep.
be doing the Broadway one.
But can we take,
Next.
do we have an amount? Is there an amount
Yes.
that we know of?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Is it on, do I have it on here?
It's in the resolutions.
I didn't bring my budget book.
Stand by. The River Road and Fairlawn Avenue total appropriations is $234,707.
And remember, the bulk of that comes from the assessments we
Yes.
collect from the businesses. That's not
Yes,
our.
exactly. So the borough contributes $37,500, and the $197,207 comes from the assessments.
That's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this budget?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing on this budget is now closed. Resolution 233-2026, resolution adopting the 2026 River Road and Fairlawn Avenue Special Improvement District budget. Can I have a motion to pass this budget?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Number 10, public hearing on the 2026 Broadway Special Improvement District budget. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this budget only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on this budget. We can give you the totals of this one,
I got
too.
it.
Good evening, Pamela Coles. The
Hi.
this
Same
is
question?
The same question.
Surely. So the total budget is $158,361. Borough contributions are $37,500, and the assessments are $120,861.
Okay, so the total budget really between the two is what, 65,000, something like that? Mm-hmm. That, between the two. That's really what I was looking
Yep.
for. Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
You're welcome.
Seeing nobody else, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this budget only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public hearing on this budget is now closed. Resolution 234-2026, resolution adopting the 2026 Broadway Special Improvement District budget. Can I have a motion that the budget be passed?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? And just for people who might be watching at home and confused, these two budgets we talked about during the budget process. So just because you don't hear any discussion up here doesn't mean that there wasn't discussion. It happened previously. Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. 12, ordinances on introduction. Ordinance 2809-2026, an ordinance repealing Capital Ordinance 2677-2023 for the improvements to Sampson and Waverly Road improvements. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on July 21st, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2810-2026, an ordinance to amend Chapter 94 fees, Article 1, fees for documents, reports, and services, Section 94-1, fees, work safety zone projects of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on July 21st, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2811-2026, an ordinance of the Borough of Fair Lawn authorizing the sale of certain real property being a portion of the Fern Street right-of-way contiguous to Block 5800, Lot 1, to Fair Lawn Memorial Cemetery pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B5. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on July 21st, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2812-2026, an ordinance creating a new Chapter 149 Native Plants of the Code of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on July 21st, 2026?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz. Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinances on final passage and adoption. Ordinance 2803-2026, an ordinance of the Borough of Fair Lawn and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and other related expenses in and for the Borough of Fair Lawn and appropriating $3,607,000 thereof and providing for the issuance of $3,427,000 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Fair Lawn to finance the same. To be clear, this is for purchasing capital purchases from our budget on various technology items as well as vehicles for the borough. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on this ordinance only.
Pamela Coles. So there's several items that we're having, I'm just going to speak about this one. So basically, it's $3.4 million in bonds that are going to be issued. And I know we've been taking on a lot of bonds and that are going to be financed. Do we have any kind of schedule? Is there any kind of schedule to pay it down or pay it off or, moving forward? Because it seems like we are taking on a lot of debt over the past several
Yeah, we're
months.
not actually, especially in comparison to other boroughs, and because of our AAA bond rating, we're paying it back faster because our interest rate is insanely low. So we're bonding and at a very appropriate rate for a municipality of our size.
And what,
But yeah, I mean, are we paying it down? Of course, we have to. In every budget, we try to pay down our debt to pay down a portion of our debt.
Right,
But
right.
when the choice is raise taxes on residents or pay down your debt, when we all know in our personal lives too, right, some debt actually is okay to have. Your debt to credit ratio is what helps give you a really high credit score if you have no debt at all. And then you do need to borrow money. You are not necessarily going to get the loan that you need because you can't prove that you've been good at paying back loans. So we're in a really good position fiscally when it comes to our debt. I don't know if the borough manager wants to add to that.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Coles, for the question. So we have been paying down most of our debt, and for a capital project, this is probably the lowest expense we've gone to bond in the last number of years. We're almost done paying off the community center. Once the community center is paid off, our bonds are going to be extremely low. But there, as the mayor mentioned, it is good to have debt because it helps build up our credit rating, which lowers it to pay it off. We did meet, I believe there's now 2 municipalities in the whole state of New Jersey that don't have any debt. Obviously, they're a lot smaller than Fair Lawn. And we do have that option if the council wants to go in that direction. But actually meeting with some financial advisors is not the best track for the borough to go. And what we've also been doing is taking some of the stuff that used to be in capital and moving into general operating. So what you really see right now in capital are much larger projects or vehicles like our fire trucks. As mentioned, IT is awfully a large cost. So it's not debt that we're carrying over, decades down the road. We are aggressively paying those down as the years progress.
Thank you. Thank you for the elaboration on that.
Anybody else? Seeing no one else, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance only?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz. Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2804-2026, an ordinance of the Borough of Fair Lawn and the County of Bergen, New Jersey, providing for improvements to various roads located in the Borough of Fair Lawn, appropriating $1,870,000 thereof, and providing for the issuance of $1,776,000 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Fair Lawn to finance the same. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on this ordinance only.
Pamela Coles, all I have to say regarding the roads is amen. Thank you, well needed, well deserved. Some of our roads are horrendous. And, with all the construction that's been going on, we are well deserved and needed of roads. Thank you.
Agreed. Seeing nobody else, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and that it be advertised according to law?
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz. Mayor Catrone.
Yes. An ordinance of the Borough of Fair Lawn in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, providing for various water supply and distribution system improvements and other related expenses in and for the Borough of Fair Lawn and appropriating $4,055,000 thereof and providing for the issuance of $3,852,000 in bonds or notes of the Borough of Fair Lawn to finance the same. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance only?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on this ordinance only. Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment, the public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. In ordinance fixing the salaries of certain employees of the Borough of Fair Lawn, Bergen County, New Jersey, as amended Supervisors Bargaining Unit. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
We need a second.
Oh,
Second.
oh, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment on this ordinance is now open. Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law?
So moved.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz. Mayor Catrone.
Yes. An ordinance fixing the salaries of certain employees of the Borough of Fair Lawn, Bergen County, New Jersey is amended blue and white collar bargaining unit. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment on this ordinance is now open. Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time is now closed. Public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2808-2026, an ordinance amending capital ordinance number 2727-2025, heretofore finally adopted on February 27th, 2025, providing for renovations to the Veterans Memorial, what does it say? Oh, in and by the Borough of Fair Lawn, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to reduce the total appropriation therein from $150,000 to $107,500, and to reduce the Bergen County Open Space Grant receivable accordingly. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment on this ordinance is now open. Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. Can I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Public comments on consent agenda 12-2026 items only. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on the consent agenda 12-2026?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on the consent agenda items only.
Pamela Coles. Consent agenda item 227-2026, resolution authorizing the pump repairs at Saddle River Road Pump Station from Plumbing Services. Do we know the cost of the repairs?
It's a not to exceed $30,000.
Not to exceed $30,000, okay. Okay, resolution 229-2026. Resolution, I believe you spoke about this in the work session. Resolution awarding the professional services agreement to the law office of Scarducci Hollenbach LLC for affordable housing attorney. Was
Yeah.
that the one that,
Our affordable housing attorney is now with a different firm.
okay,
Yeah.
so that wasn't the
So
one that was.
we're
in-
keeping her just with her new firm.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Resolution 230A-2026, resolution approving the submission of a grant application and execution of the grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Program for fiscal year 2027 for Lyons Avenue Improvement Project. What will be?
Road repaving.
Oh.
Yeah.
For that, okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
That's great. And also.
Same for Fairclough. We're doing Lions and Fairclough. That's
Oh,
the
yeah,
next one, too.
Fairclough and Lions, okay, thank you. And 230B
Yeah,
dash 2026,
that's the Fairclough one.
that's a Fairclough. Okay, super, thank you.
You're welcome. Seeing nobody else, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on the consent agenda items only?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now closed. Will the municipal clerk please read the consent agenda passage?
Whereas the following resolutions, 219-2026 through 232-2026, having heretofore been placed on this consent agenda, require no discussion, and same having been previously reviewed by each council member, be and are hereby adopted, ratified, and confirmed in their entirety by the mayor and council of the Borough of Fair Lawn.
Can I have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Baldowski.
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz. Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Okay, 16, new business. The first one on here is mine. So as I mentioned earlier, tonight, Phase 3 of Veteran Circle is the landscaping, which will, the actual payment for the landscaping will be in next year's budget. However, we would like for the landscape architect to fix up the plans and have them ready to go. So that as soon as we have the funding, we can get going. And just in case we are able to get grant money or more donations, we'll have the finalized plans ready to go. The only issue is that we looked at what was left in the budget, and I think it was only like $400. $200. So I am asking for consensus of, we're thinking what for not to exceed, Kurt? Or,
I'd say 1,500.
okay, for not to exceed an additional 1,500, which Kurt is saying we can cover, so that the architect can finish the plans. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. And I know the borough manager has something as well.
Thank you, Mayor. What we do a lot of times, if we have a property that adjoins like borough property, we kind of help with the maintenance of it. So Saddle Ridge condos, they're purchasing bushes to go along the fencing to kind of block, they're right by the recycling center. So what they would ask if that we would split the cost with them for the bushes.
How much?
Similar price, not to exceed $1,000.
And we do this with every other property that abuts
We
our
do,
stuff?
especially with the recycling center, with a lot of the abutting properties we have, just because of what's going on there.
Okay. Consensus?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Anybody else have new business? Okay. 17, public comments. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open.
Pamela Coles, I'm killing the fly. Excuse me, Nat, I'm sorry. Pamela Coles, I have a question regarding this year's budget or last year's budget was introduced back in March and April. And it was in the public, a public arena like this, like a meeting like today. And I know that the public that the budget for this past year was introduced in the work session.
Right.
It was introduced in the work session, and then it was
Yeah, I think we did.
introduced in the work session?
Yeah, the reason that happened was because by law, we need 28 days between we introduce and adopt. And what would happen was that if we didn't introduce it at that work session, there was no time between the two council meetings.
Right.
So that means we wouldn't be able to adopt it until tonight then, if we had waited until,
Yeah, and if
The
we would have
meeting.
waited until tonight, we wouldn't have been able to start spending the money until tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there was, that just it just was a little surprising that that's one of the first times that I've,
Yeah.
seen that or witnessed that. And, I guess that's it.
Yeah. But when we do things on first reading, all we do is read the title. So nothing
Yeah.
really, like you have the same opportunity at the second reading to request changes, make changes, come up
Yeah.
and
But
yell
in
at
a
us or compliment us, and it would be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also
However,
have
in a
more-
public venue, it's,
Well, they're
people have
both
the op-
public, it's just one isn't televised, that's all.
Right, exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
In this type of arena,
Yeah.
in a more public venue where it is televised, people have the opportunity to know when, what's coming up. You know, where in a work session, it's not televised and we don't have that opportunity. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We also had more public budget meetings this year than we've had in the 9 years
Yes.
I've been on the council.
Yeah, we did have to have more budget meetings because of how challenging this one was. 18, Resolution 235-2026. Oh, I'm sorry. Anybody else for public comment? I just realized I never closed the time for, you sure, Joanne? Okay. Can I have a motion to close the time for public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now closed. Resolution 235-2026, executive closed session of June 16th, 2026. Will the municipal clerk please read the executive session resolution?
Whereas NJSA 10412B allows a public body to enter into a closed session during a public meeting, and upon conclusion, the meeting will return to open public session, and whereas the Borough of Fairlawn has deemed it necessary to enter into a closed session, excluding the public to discuss matters that are exempt from disclosure. Collective bargaining agreement, including proposed terms and conditions and negotiations, personnel matters pursuant to NJSA 10412B8, and pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiation other than collective bargaining agreements in which the public body is or may become a party, or matters falling within attorney-client privilege. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough Council shall now enter into a closed session, and that the discussion in closed session may be made public when disclosure will not detrimentally affect any right, interest, or duty of the borough.
Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Baldowski?
Yes.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Catrone?
Yes.
In closed session, 8:38.